Good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever may be the case. This is Urban Cowboy coming at you. Um, there's a few things I want to address, Alan. I do live here in Tennessee. Fantastic, absolutely love it here. Nashville area. Um, in the paper this morning. First, let me say it's been an eventful week with again I love talking law and politics, and I did watch our president's joint Congress address. My big thing is that, again, I've talked about this before. I'm not a big religious fanatic, but I do believe that you are good to your fellow man. I I feel like there's just some things that are shouldn't even be touched. There are just some safe areas of life that are just are are just untouchable. Are just common sense. We do everything we can to ensure their safety and to ensure that they have a better life than we may have had. And what I'm talking about is two areas. Is I'm talking about veterans. There was a time, I'm biased because I'm a veteran. There was a time where veterans were untouchable from negative commentary, from negative legislation. You just didn't do it. We've had blips here and there. Vietnam, when those veterans came back, they were just treated terribly. And legislation has assisted along the way. Now, I'm a big. I don't think we go anywhere near where we should. Again, biased, but I can't remember the last time I talked to somebody who disagreed with me. Veterans shouldn't be taxed. If you gave any amount of your life to something bigger, to the defense of this country, you shouldn't be taxed, especially if you went into combat zones. You shouldn't have to worry about anything healthcare. Or maybe even given it a choice. Be like, all right, here, as a veteran, when you get out, you should get the option, okay? You can have free healthcare, walk into anywhere as long as you have, most IDs now have veteran on your ID. But if you can prove, you have your DD 214, if you can prove you walk into anywhere, any medical facility, you'll get taken care of. No billing, no nothing, just taken care of, no matter what. You could either have that for the rest of your life, or you can choose not to be taxed, not to pay any taxes for the rest of your life. Because you gave a part of your life in defense of this country, put your life on the line. This is a benefit, a perk. I would personally like to see, of course, I'm biased. I would personally like to see both things, but I understand taking it in stride, right? One of those two things. The VA getting gutted. If it were in an effort to make it better, then I might be in support of it. But just to gut it, just to save money, that is not okay. Okay, so one area, veterans. Used to be a safe bet, is no longer, with all the federal cuts. Tens of thousands of veterans are getting laid off and fired. Not okay. Not okay. Another area is children, kids. So here in Tennessee, there is a bill that was in the Senate that just made it out of committee that would require, not give the option, but require all schools in Tennessee to verify citizenship before allowing a kid to enroll in a school. And the reasons that these yahoos give are crazy ridiculous. I mean, he even got Republican uh, opposition to it. I mean, it still came out of committee, but it still got some Republican opposition, which I'm proud to say that the Republicans that voted against it are from the Nashville area, even into the into the countryside area. How is it okay to go after kids? And these people that put the bill up are saying, "Oh, this isn't about going after the kids." Whether that's the intention or not, it is going after kids. You're going after children. How do you have kids and be able to look them in the eye? How do you go to your constituents that have kids and look them in the eye and I'm doing this for you? They're kids. Every kid should have an opportunity for an education. I don't understand that. Especially a lot of these, religion is big here. And that's great because, you would think if a religious person, they're sympathetic to their fellow person, especially to kids. I don't understand how you claim to be a man of God or a person of God, and then turn around and show such neglect to your fellow person, to kids. I don't understand that. It doesn't connect with me. How do you sit there in your church and truly appreciate what the Bible says and truly appreciate what most churches teach? I mean, it just doesn't click for me. What I get out of church is that every person deserves love. Every person deserves, they don't necessarily say it, but I give everyone my respect until you take advantage of it, until you give me a reason not to respect you. Everyone has their different areas, different opinions, which is great. But kids, man, kids. Luckily, there's a lot of opposition to this. So the fact that it even came out of committee is ridiculous. But the one thing that I believe, and this is one thing that irritates me on the federal level, is that the Speaker of the House, the leaders of the majority, whether it be Democrat or Republican, can choose what legislation gets voted on. I don't agree with that at all. At all. Any legislation that makes it out of committee absolutely should be voted on. Make it to the floor, debated, and you're going to find out where everybody stands. Again, I've said this in other videos. I don't bend the knee to anybody. I think there's too much of that. You got Republicans bending the knee to the RNC and to Trump rather than their constituents. You've got Democrats bending the knee to the DNC. You know, during the president's speech, I understand disliking the guy. I mean, he can't talk. He's probably the most divisive and hate. He's got so much. I don't necessarily. I think it's a lot of an act, but the hate that he spouts that comes out of his mouth. I there used to be a time where presidents talked unity. I mean, even if they didn't believe it, or you gotta judge a person by their actions. But when they talk of unity. They talk of wanting to bring the people together. Now, it's not always what they act on, but at least when you're talking to the country, when you're talking to a joint session of Congress, at least feign, fake it if you have to. But he likes good TV, the drama, and at the end of the day, Democrats are weak. There's only a couple of them that are fiery and aggressive. Jasmine Crockett out of Dallas. But at the end of the day, they're weak. It's the reason why Republicans win all the time. They're aggressive. They follow the rules the way they're written rather than following, using them. You got Democrats following rules that don't even exist. And you're going to lose anytime you do that. But getting back to it, every bill should be voted on. Any bill that makes it out of committee should absolutely be voted on. And the reason why I believe that is because, the reason why Republicans and Democrats sit on bills that they don't want to reach the floor is because they don't want to get put on the bad end of approving or declining something. If something makes it out of committee, it should be a requirement. The speaker should not have that power. The majority leader in the Senate should not have the power to prevent a bill from making it to the floor to debate and be voted on. Anyone who serves in that chamber, in those chambers, should be on the record of where they stand. And the leaders do that to protect their people because they know these days, Democrats vote for Democratic policies, will not vote for Republican policies for the most part, and it's vice versa. Republicans will not vote for a Democratic policy, and this is regardless if it benefits the American people. Anyway, I just had to vent a little bit because kids should absolutely be protected. Kids should absolutely have the opportunity in this country to get an education. The Republicans that put it up, or the people that put the bill up, sponsored it and wrote it, were all like, oh, the cost of ESL, English as a second language, is, we have no idea because we aren't able to gather this information. I mean, if you're talking finances, then at the other end of the spectrum, you're approving for, of because all schools, no schools are set up for this. So it's going to cost money to set this up. So don't give the reason of financial when really what it is you don't want anyone who might be illegal to get the same education, whether illegals still pay taxes. People who are here illegally still pay taxes. And it's basically free tax money. Because if they go their entire life living here paying into taxes, when it's time for them to retire and give it all up and everything, because they're here illegally, they can't collect Social Security. They can't collect the benefits that they were paying into. It's free money. Why would you give that up? Now, I'm not saying open borders or anything like that. I think that it got way out of hand and we should absolutely secure our borders, but without hindering the ability to legally come here. The legal immigration laws are crazy ridiculous. Even for those that come here under visas to get an education and even, are required to stay here and use their education rather than get the education and then take it back to their country. So I'll leave this a short video. I may make another video later on, but just wanted to get that out there. Ultimately at the end of the day, people that spout religion, that say they're people of God, or whatever religion they may be, you can't truly be a person of God if you're going after people that defend you and you're going after kids. Whether the intention is there or not, you're going after kids. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's why you need to be really careful about what policies you're putting into place. Because at the end of the day, when you go to that next place, you're going to have to explain why you lived your life with such hate. There are decisions that have to be made, and they're tough decisions. But kids? Really? Kids. I'd love to hear what everyone thinks. I mean, definitely throw comments in there. Let me know. Ask me questions. I love good debates. I love it. I love talking law and politics, life, whatever. But yeah, let's be good to our fellow people. If they themselves are good people, let's be good in return. Have a great one, everybody. Have a great Friday. If I don't post again, have a great weekend. And be good to everybody. Be good to people. Have a conversation with a stranger. Guarantee that they'll be good to you. And if they aren't, then, there are people out there like that. But be good. Be good to your fellow man. Have a great one, everybody.